Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Car Stereo Talk. We are your hosts,
I am Dean.
and he is Fernando.
That's right.
And we are here today to talk to you about car stereo stuff.
That's what we talk about?
I don't know. Seems that way. Sometimes. I mean, I feel like most of the show is pretty much that. There's
I thought we were going to talk about Christmas gifts.
We could. What would you like to get me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sure. Why not? Let's go for that. Welcome to the show, guys. It's Monday. Here we go again. It's a short week for some of you. Good evening.
Good evening.
He's waiting.
Right on top.
I know. He is. He's the best. He's the best. Welcome to the show. It's Monday. It's a holiday week. Some of you guys, Thursday and Friday, Saturday, you got these big weekends to look forward to. We are not that. However,
you take them many days off, really?
No. I mean, we would, but we'd be doing something. So it would never be like just for like, hey, we're going to relax.
Oh, so what's the point of taking it off?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, so right off the bat, we'll tell you, we do the Thanksgiving Day show.
Yes.
It's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it's Thanksgiving Day from the beach. So don't forget to tune in on Thanksgiving morning if you would like.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing that live. So do that. Just a reminder, remind you at the end of the show. We got to remember to do that because, and we did talk. I talked to Mom. She goes, "Can you believe this? Like every year, she comes up here and bugs the crap out of us about it." You know what she said this year?
She said, "No, I don't want to."
No. She goes, "Oh, I forgot."
Wow.
I'm like, "How? Really? You're kidding me? That you're a joke, right?" I was totally blown away because
it's messing with you, man.
No. Because Haley, she's like, "Oh, I honestly forgot about it," and Haley's like, "What? How is that? Like, you bug us every year about what time is the show? When are you going to do it? You're still doing it right." And this year, she's like pulling the I forgot card.
Maybe she just give up in the show. She's like,
or no, she's just getting old and senile. But I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully not. Hey, aside from that, we do this little thing. Some of you guys are members called the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. And every Monday, Sunday, Fernando scours it to find what he thinks is some cool wiring.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, as I often say, is no different. And we got this right here. Look at that. Some beautiful powering underneath the hood. We got some MechMan alternators with some sky-high power wire looking all pretty.
I just want to say, these posts make really good comments.
Okay.
Yes. So what the reason why is because a lot of people start posting their under the hood wiring.
Yeah.
And some of these ones, they are really nice. So if you are one of them, hey, just post it in the regular page. You know, it's just amazing. I mean, it's big alternators, big power wire, big runs of 0 gauge wire. So it's clean. I like it. It's nice. So this post is brought to you by DNF Tool Drawer, home of the IRTA2. That's right. If you need a 2-channel electrical RTA, we got you covered. Head over to the DNF Tool Drawer where you can find out. And, you know, I know we talked about that there's going to be like a gift pack available. Before you say, that install was from Travis Smith.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you for sharing it,
Travis. So I know we're putting together a gift pack right now that is going to have a
big hug.
So it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. Like there's going to be a polarity tester. There's going to be a baseball hat. There's going to be a lanyard. There's going to be a koozie.
Yeah, we have plenty of those.
Probably be a sticker. So it'll be regular price. So it's still going to be $249.99. We don't have there'll be a code that you use to get it because there's only going to be 12 of them.
Yeah.
So we have enough to do 12. I've been putting together. So, and I'm not going to do it. Like, I know everyone's going to be Black Friday'd out and then you got the Cyber Monday thing. So the goal is to have it ready for Cyber Monday, maybe Tuesday. I hate these time of the year to do these things, but I figured if we did like a gift pack, it might be cooler. So that way it's like somebody wants one for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, and you want your spouse to get it for you, you'll get it. And the hat it's like a random hat, a random koozie, probably be an Arc Audio koozie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's definitely coming. It'll be next week when we put that up, and I will put up pictures of all the stuff. So if you guys are interested and you've been waiting to get IRTA 2, next week we'll have the Christmas gift pack.
So it's gonna be a Cyber Tuesday.
No, it's just going to be a Christmas gift pack to IRTA. So
Perfect.
So anyway,
There you go. So
yeah. All right, so go ahead and get your questions in, and we will start answering those.
real quick, if you want to go and see where it's gonna be, just order there.
Don't order yet, though.
Don't order
Don't
yet.
order yet. Unless
But this
if
is
you don't
it.
want the gift pack, go ahead. But if you want the gift pack, wait till next week when we have it up. This first segment of the show is brought to us by the fine folks at focal-america.com.
Focal-america.com.
That's right. So Christmas, as we said, is right around the corner. If you're looking for that perfect gift and you're like, no, I want something better. Well, hey, we all know how the spouse can be. Check out the Access line. You get an amazing product. They have a 3-way set. They have a 2-way set. They have coaxials. They have the whole 9 yards. It's the perfect gift for the holiday season. You can have it at Focal-America. Click on the product line. Come down here to Performance and scroll down until you see Access. They even have a set of 5x7s for those of you rocking that old F-150.
Yeah.
Boom, they got you covered.
So if I have a Mazda?
If you have a Mazda,
Ooh.
yes, you're all set. So, and you can find those there again at focal-america.com. They got you from bottom to top, man. They make a speaker line for you. All right. So let's see what we got. First off, I want to say hello to everyone. Let me just jump through some of these real quick before we get to the questions.
Ahead. Hey,
saludos. Hello, 63. Good evening. What's up, Frank? Good afternoon from the Twin Cities. Currently 25 degrees. And that is why we live in Florida, because we could not do that. Evening, all. How's it going? Blissful 44 at the Kicker HQ. Hey, Frank. Hey, Fang. What's happening? Everyone, hi. Nope, can't do it. Here you go. Any host of all hosts. Hey, host. I don't know what that. Then we got good evening. Yo, ho, hey, hola. Saludos. Good evening, all. Let's just get, okay, good evening, Dean and Fernando. All right, I'm going to hit this one first. Okay, I have a Kenwood 8709 and Kenwood 6903 is a Kenwood 9. Oh, sounds like it's in a Dodge. Want to add a DSR1 and an amp, 2013 RAM. I'll call that 15 with any suggestions. Already have Rockford Fosgate punch subs and amp. So you basically just need a 4-channel. Now, DSR1, fantastic. Go for it. If you already have a Rockford punch, all right, I already have Rockford Fosgate punch sub and amp. If you already have a matching, you got to go matching, okay, is where I'm going with this. So if you have a punch amp for the sub, by all means, you got to buy the punch amp for the highs. They have to match because otherwise the world just isn't right. So if in my world, I'm trying to match that up. If I want to get rid of the punch amp, which makes no sense, then I could go something different. But I have to have 2 amps that make the sense. Otherwise, it's crazy.
Okay.
I mean, it's just me. Especially in a RAM, you're going to see them. I don't know. I feel like they got to match. It's just me. I am crazy. I know.
Yeah, of course.
Or say screw the DSR1 and get yourself an Arc Audio Blackbird, put it underneath the front seat and call it a day. And then you can go full active on the 6903s. You can go channels 1 and 2 on the tweeter, channel 3 and 4 on the 3.5, channels 5 and 6 on your front mid bass, 7 and 8 on the rear 6x9. Output off to the punch amp. That'd be the Blackbird 8-channel amplifier with 12 channels of DSP. There again, that's a thought. It's a thought, right? You could do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got 2 choices. Next one. I'm going to hit that because that looks... is it better to connect to the alternator or the battery? Battery. You want to connect to the battery. The batteries, that's what the battery's for, not the alternator. Yeah, you don't want... I mean...
So what you saw in the picture for the clean wire
those are going off to the battery.
Those are going to the battery. Of course, they have 2 alternators, and they have crazy batteries in there. So
yeah, you connect to the battery. Okay. How do the newer head units with a DSP built in compare to standalone DSPs? So I don't really consider them DSP. I consider them having DSP-like features, okay? And the reason for that is they're close. They have some overlapping features. We're starting to get more, but they're not full DSPs. They give you some options, which are kind of cool. So the first thing is independent level control. Radios have a really hard time with this. Some better than others. Like, there are some radios like Kenwoods and some of the Pioneers, some features in some of the Sonys where you can level control each speaker. That's important. But remember, it's only going to be front speaker, rear speaker, and sub, or tweeter, mid, and sub. Very rarely is it all. Now you have the new Horizon 10 that gives you more control because now it has 8-channel preamp output instead of 6-channel, so you can do a little bit more there. So control of individual speakers is very important, and for the most part, a lot of these radios, it's mediocre at best. So there's that. Then you have crossover. Very limited because the crossovers aren't independent. They're not infinitely variable. They're preset crossover points. So they're, again, very basic, and they don't really, it's like 6, 12, 18, 24. And my guess is they're all Butterworth. They don't really tell you, so there's no way to know. Not the most important thing, but it's still there. Again, it seems it's a basic feature they're giving you to make you feel special. It's nice that they offer them, but nowhere near the crossovers that come on a DSP. They're infinitely adjustable. And you can also choose what type of slope you want. And there's usually 4 different slopes to choose from. I mean, for the most part, you need Linkwitz Riley. But, I mean, outside of that, it's nice to know that they care. And then you get into delay. Now, delay is delay for the most part. We really don't have a lot to worry about there. But we only have, in a radio, we only have front, rear, sub, delay category. That's it. But if you're only talking about like a 5-channel DSP, then that's all you'd have. So, I mean, from that perspective, that's great. But in most cases, when you have delay, you need level control for each speaker. That's important. That's why, like, Kenwood puts them on the same page, and you toggle between them. Pioneer doesn't do that. They put them in 2 different pages, which makes adjusting them a big pain in the butt. But that's besides the point. And Alpine doesn't do it at all, which is very frustrating. And then you run into the most important thing, which is EQ. Now, some manufacturers will give us a front EQ and a rear EQ. Some manufacturers just give us, just 13 bands of fun and excitement. Some are giving us a left and a right EQ, but very few are giving us left, right, front, rear, 4 EQs, 5 EQs. That's not anything that a lot of these do. Now, when you get into like the Kenwood 1057, you do have that. You get 2 bands of parametric for front, 2 bands of parametric for rear, 9 bands of parametric for the whole thing, and 1 band of parametric for the subwoofer, plus 13 bands of graphic just to change on the fly. So when you look at a regular DSP, though, it's just 30 bands. We'll say 15 to 30 bands of equalization for each individual channel that is there. So you can really go crazy. So there again, that's not saying that one is better or worse than the other. It's just how much adjustment do you need? How much adjustment do you want? In some cases, when you're looking at a basic system, if you have a crappy radio in the dash and you can swap out the radio going to a better radio, like, something like a Sony 9500, a Kenwood 958, those give you a lot of adjustments like we've just talked about. And for the most part, might be enough. It might be enough to get, because you're not needing all the de-equalization that you get in a DSP. And there again, it just depends on what your results are and what you're trying to do. Now if you're going with like active tweeters, active mid, well, DSP makes way more sense just because you're going to need that for the control anyways. So, yeah, okay.
Wow.
Well, you asked the question and you did a good answer. That's a good answer. It's a good question.
That was the lone answer, bro.
Hey, happy holidays. How are you?
Happy
Hey, guys.
holidays.
How are you? How you doing? Okay. When it comes to 6.5 component speakers, in your opinion, is there a price point where you go for good to great speaker sound quality? Okay, since Focal is up right now, this is the easiest way. Like, Focal makes several layers. So you have integration, you have, so it starts with Otter, goes into integration. Somewhere in there you get Focal inside. I like to say that's adjacent. But from integration, you go to Access, you go to Slate Fiber, you go to Flax, you go to K2, you go to Utopia. Now, we'll start at Access, because anything below that, it's just a lot of stuff going on. And let's say a set of Access comes in at, let's say, $350. somewhere in that range. More than likely, now before there was slate fiber, it was just flax. And when you went from one to the other, it was more or less about 45% more. So you'd say 6 to 650. Now that slate fiber is like $120 cheaper than that. So they've kind of filled that void because it is such a jump. Now, when you say go from good to great, that happens, I feel, when you look at the speaker manufacturer and where the speakers are made. So, for example, Focal, slate fiber is the first one made in France. So when you go from Access to slate fiber, now you're going to something that's a French speaker, French-made speaker. Morel, when you go from everything below Virtus. Okay, so Virtus is the first line that is made in their home country, Israel. When you go to Hertz and you look at the Hertz line, the Italians, when you get into like the Millis, those are made in Italia, Italy. We know. So that's kind of where you separate the men from the boys as far as like, do we go with the better speaker? Of course you do. So, but good to great, yeah. I mean, listen. Figure out what your budget is and spend the most amount of money that you can. That's really what it comes down to. If you're like the best set of speakers I can buy is $250, well, then those are the best set of speakers you can buy. It really doesn't matter. But if you can go up to $350, $450, yes, you're getting into a better speaker. There's no doubt about it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it up, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was done. Hey guys, I asked the other about the Arc Audio speakers. Are pillars required, or are you able to fit the RS3 in a factory location? Okay, so it just depends on what you have for a factory location. So
hang on, he has an F-150. I don't know what year. I don't know if
matter.
you have the
it doesn't
factory
matter.
three-way like this.
Yeah, one. It won't matter because that won't go in the factory spot. The three-way, no, because you can barely fit a flax, 2.5 inch. So no, the RS3 will not fit in the factory location on an F-150. I mean, if we're talking B&O up in the top of the dash, no. If we're talking like tweeter on the side panel, no. However, there are places. The nice thing about the F-150 is it's easy enough to find A-pillars. Everybody makes them, or they make pods that attach to the A-pillars. So I would reach out to Sage at soundsgoodstereo.com. They make pillars, and they will make them for Arc Audio speakers, and they will just mail them to you, which is fantastic. So I would do that. That would be a good idea. It's worth it. So you got to hit the button. Speaking of matching, any basis of staying with brand even if other brand amp DSPs are rated better? Okay, so if you've got a Rekaton amplifier that's powering your subwoofer, and you're like, that's just to say a crappy amplifier powering your subwoofer, and it's time to upgrade the system, and you're like, do I buy another Rekaton? No, you got crap. So we don't know what he has. Well, we know he had Punch. Punch makes a good amplifier, so that makes sense to match the amplifier. Now, if you had a windfall between when you bought that and now, meaning like this was my high school job and this is like my grown-up job, and well, now you got grown-up money, well, then it makes sense, like buy the better stuff, because there's no point in matching it to that if you're outside of that tax bracket. It might not mean that much to you, though. It just depends. But like I said, the other option, we go to the Blackbird, because that makes more sense, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're at. It's like, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, it would. And speaking of Blackbird, hey, if you're interested in picking up one of the coolest DSP amplifiers on the planet, the Blackbird, 8 channels of power with 12 channels of DSP, head over to arcaudio.com, and there you can find out what it is we're talking about. So, funny story, taking a quick break. Today, I sold another Blackbird into a Titan, Nissan Titan. Somebody showed up with a Nissan Titan. Like, what?
Nissan Titan.
Yeah,
Okay.
right? Like, who knew?
Yeah.
Anyways, we can do a 3-way set in one of those, like real easy. I was like totally blown away because, dude, we do like that many Nissan Titans. And so I was like, we're talking to the guy and we're putting a system together. And I was like, dude, this is the Blackbird system. Like, we're going to leave the rear speakers out because who cares? And do a nice 3-way set up front with the Blackbird and a sub. And I was like, but I'm selling the Blackbird. And I'm like, okay, so like, listen, I know this is weird because then we talked about the Nighthawk. And as soon as I said Nighthawk, he just kind of looked at me like, are you kidding me? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, are we selling toys? What are we doing? I'm like, listen, everyone needs a name for something, okay? We could call it the SR-71 and the F-22 Raptor, whatever those two are. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
but it's still, you know, what do we call this? An Arc Audio 8 to 12? 8 to 12 Mini? 8 to 12 OEM? I mean, it's just a name. It's just a name. Don't let the name throw you off. It was so funny. But he bought it anyways. Hi guys, happy Monday. See you on the sales call. Yeah, right. LOL. Maybe, I don't know. I got a lot of work to do tonight. I want to. I just got a new desktop, and we set it up last night really quick. So it's like sitting on Haley's desk because my desk is covered with crap. So, what do you consider the maximum amp load for a typical factory automotive electrical system? 2,000 watts. 2,000 watts of like rated power. Because everyone wants 1,000-watt sub amp, and most highs amp, like if you get into like an 8-channel or a 6-channel, they're going to be somewhere between, let's say, 6 to 1,000 watts. We know they're not actually consuming that, but if we just say 2,000 watts of rated power, then you're probably good. It's a plus or minus, right? There's no like definitely this, right, Fernando? Can't go any higher. No, it's not. I mean, because there again, the new kicker that we have sitting over here, the 7-channel, like its burst certificate was what, like, was it 2,000 watts, or it was ridiculous. And they put a 0 gauge on it. And the first thing I said was, why'd you guys put a 0 gauge on this? It doesn't need a 0 gauge. Like, yeah, we know, but it just, the platform had like what our audio control does on the 51300. It doesn't need a 0 gauge. It's got one, but it doesn't need it. So there again, I think about 2,000 watts of rated power is probably good. It depends though. Like this F-150 will obviously take way more than a Honda Accord. But there again, so. Good evening, Dean and Fernando.
Good evening.
What would you recommend for a speaker and subwoofer upgrade for a 2025 Toyota Camry LE hybrid? Blackbird? It just depends, like what you want to do. Like anytime you're getting ready to upgrade the system, the first thing is, okay, so we're assuming it's bass audio because you said it was bass audio. All right. Now with a Toyota, bass audio means that it's got equalization and all pass filters. All right. Now we're just going to fast forward what those two things mean, other than to say, when you sit in the car and you listen to it, more than likely the sound for you, the driver, sounds like it's somewhere above the steering wheel, and for the passenger, it's somewhere above the airbag. There's nothing wrong with it, right? It sounds pretty good. It's all right. If we want to get dead nut center, that's when we have to worry about the all pass filters and that whole nightmare. Okay. Now, if we're just like, no, I want to keep it more simple. I just want it to be loud. I want a little bit of equalization just to make my stuff sound a little better. The imaging is okay. Well, then, all right. So maybe we don't need the biggest, baddest DSP in the world. It's a 2025. There's a T-harness for it that PAC makes. So at least we know we're going to need load resistors unless we go with an amplifier that has them built in. So now it's like, okay, so it's probably a 2.5 or a 3.5 or a tweeter in the dash. We don't know which one because Toyota's all across the board on that. It's a Camry, so that means you can probably buy the JBL A-pillar. So it's like you have the potential to do a 3-way set. So it's probably a 2.5-inch hole in the dash because it is a Camry. So you could buy the A-pillars, which probably run you about $200. You could do a tweeter, 2.5. So now you can do like a 3-way set, which there again takes you in a whole nother world. Or you can do a basic 2-way set. Might be able to do some Kenwood 6902s if you're on a budget. It just depends. It's one of those big conversations to have. And then it's like, okay, power. How advanced do you want to make this? Do we want to go full 8-channel DSP? So we're talking Moscone, Arc, Audison, possibly Hertz or Helix. So there's a lot to choose from. Can't use Raptor. It's trademarked. Of course it is. We wouldn't call it a raptor. We just call it wrapped, and we spell it TUR. TURE. Or we could just call it rap torture.
What?
I'm surprised Blackbird isn't copywritten. I mean, it is the government. Anyways, my point is that there's a lot you can do. The first things first is we're not replacing the radio in that, so we need to figure out what level of DSP we want to do, and that usually means are you going to do it yourself or are you going to let somebody else do it? And if you're going to do it yourself, how much do you want to learn? And there again, if you just want it louder, straight power is always an option. I'm not a fan of that because then we have no way to manipulate it, but that's what you got to figure out. Okay, so do we want to go through it and get the A pillar? So, which is a good idea. I mean, I would start looking. That was the other thing with the Titan. They have a system that you can get in it. And he's like, I was like, we went online. I was like, here's the A pillars. They're $90 a piece. Order the A pillars. You know. So, just want to know. Arc Audio has incredible customer service. Okay.
Rare these days. Yeah, there you go.
You know, and here's the funny part. There's only like 5 people in the office that can answer the phone. 4 of them probably only answer the phone.
That was Brad.
Yeah, there's like 4 people in the office that answer the phone, maybe 5. But that's it. That's like the whole office. There's 3 or 4 like engineer techs in the back that don't talk to anybody at all, not even each other. They're just like, they come in with their lunch bag. They're really nice guys. Don't get me wrong. We ate lunch with one of them. But yeah, they don't talk to nobody. Hey, Dean. Does 2 subsonic filters make funny sounding bass? There is one in my epicenter and one in my kicker amp. Kicker subsonic filter is not. So you have the PFM filter that is in the epicenter, and then you have another one that is in the kicker amplifier. So basically, most of the time, those are 12 dB crossovers. And so depending on where the one is in your kicker amp, and the PFM filter, if you have an epicenter micro, you can bypass. And I think you can I think in the Champion series, you can pull it apart and bypass it. I think you might be used to. I'm not 100% because I've never bothered, because I thought you could open it up and bypass the PFM filter in the epicenter.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You're basically, now you just created a really like cutoff at that. Now, is it going to screw things up? Probably not. Depending on what kind of subs you have. If you got a big porta box and you're trying to make it big, fat, and boomy, it probably will. But more than likely, I would see if you could negate the one in the audio control and let the one in the kicker do it. The other thing too is it's there because they realize like most people aren't going to be like listening to stuff that just sits there and goes really low bass. And then the epicenter, if you gain it up, it's just going to overwhelm the system anyways. That's why it's there, because the epicenter can put so much. Concert series, you can order the 15 hertz chip. There you go. So, yeah, you might want to do that. I don't know if they still make that chip, or sell it and just get the epicenter micro that has it built in. It's right there. Happy Monday. Oh, by the way, hi, Jeff. How you doing? What's up, Mike?
Okay, I got the next one.
When setting up a DSP like in a car, do you use an RTA to set it up or just by ear? Steven, that is a wonderful question. DSP like, I'm assuming it refers to a radio. And Fernando, when we're setting up anything with an EQ, what do?
We just do this.
No.
Oh. No, but funny story.
Yeah.
One day we went to Knowledge Fest.
Yep.
And, they setting up all these radios and the crossover. I think that was the setting, right? Like the clipping. And, I think that was Sage say, who can come over here and get closer to the clipping?
So they were trying to. So he bet that no one could come and set a gain on an amplifier at -5 dB of overlap.
So, and guess who came out?
Jeff.
Mr. Jeff Smith comes out. He's like, hey, I give it a shot.
He had to do it by ear.
And he did it by ear.
And I think he got it to 0.6. I think it was like 0.6.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was really close. It was like within one click on the volume knob.
Now, talking about RTAs, we don't have the ears that Jeff Smith has. So
what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need an RTA. We use an RTA. We use two different RTAs, an electrical RTA and acoustical RTA to set up a DSP.
So when we're doing a radio, we just use a simple RTA mic plugged into an iPad. So we'll use the Studio 6, who has a Black Friday sale right now. So we'll use the Studio 6 USB-C mic and their software, which is just RTA, and then we'll do it that way. But you can get a USB mic pretty cheap from Speaker. What is it? Why can I never remember
Which one?
the place where I just bought all that Bluetooth stuff from?
Amazon.
Yeah, no. Parts Express. I'm looking for the box. I know it's around here. So Parts Express has their USB mic that's pretty cheap. I have a mini DSP mic that I bought the other day.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them you can choose from. You can just plug into an iPad or an Android tablet and tune them. But no, the thing is that even when doing a radio, even though it's like 13 bands, it still helps to have the microphone there to just see. If anything, I mean, the thing of it is do we need it? Honestly, for setting up radio, probably not, because we've done enough of them and we know the problems that are in the car that we could easily fix. Because there's only so much adjustment you can do. Because it's always the same thing. It's like, the problem is nowhere near one of the frequency choices we have. So we have to like start experimenting, bringing certain things down and hoping for the best. But yeah. Oh yeah, good call. Thank you. Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, just sat there forever. I'll leave it, just let it go down, because that way it'll move when it needs to. 29 Swizzle Sticks, 2019 RAM, currently 2-way passive, going 3-way active. Does the HK door card stage well enough to mount them both up on the pillar? So anytime we do the HK, we've always put the tweeter in the door and the 3.5 in the dash. We've never tried anything other than that, and it always works really well. So I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but that's what we've done. So
okay,
yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Need a fan option to cool down some amps that are as quiet as possible. So you get the squirrel cage fans.
No, but some of these ones, they are very quiet. Which one has Sage? Sage has some.
He stole them out of the Moscone.
He stole some out of the Moscone. That is true.
He literally stole them out of the Moscone, but he knows what fans they are. Reach out to Sage on that one, Mike, because he knows they know what fans, because they stole them all out of the Moscone amps to put them into the Honda because they wanted the red fans.
I know,
but they know what the black fans were.
Okay.
So, Parts Express for the mic. Thank you, Keith. Hey, Dean, question. Okay. Hold on.
Do you have any other recommendations for an Apple USB-C to headphone jack? I purchased like 3 for the IRTA2. They work once, but when I use them again, they stop working. USB-C.
No, this stupid little box for $10. So we've had actually pretty good luck with them with the most recent batch of them. Like we when we first started using it, we had all kinds of problems. We saw one. Remember the one we saw at when we were in Vegas?
And you take a picture.
I did take a picture, and I haven't tried it yet because I went looking for it.
Yes.
So the problem that you run into is that, believe it or not, they put a DSP chip in the USB-C jack. And if you saw the video we did, we tested a whole bunch of them. The Apple was the only one that was flat. I did when we were in Vegas, and I should have bought it, and I didn't because we were too late and I was way too tired. But we did see one in Vegas that I wanted to try out that was by a better brand than, let's say, stuff that makes no sense.
It was green, no?
Hold on, I have a picture of it here somewhere.
Yeah.
But we have to try. Either way, I have to find it because we have to try it out and see.
The best USB-C to 3.5. Okay, somebody came over here. The best USB-C to 3.5 I have found this Lenovo adapter. I think that's what it is.
No.
Really?
No. But no, if it that would probably work as well too, because that's not going to have it's going to something where they know the result, so it won't have the yeah, check it out.
There you go.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Hold on. I want to let me do this because I'm going to forget and I'll have to go find it. I just take a picture.
I know.
I'll get one in and check it out because I have no problem buying one.
Oh,
dude, I literally said hold on a second.
Lenovo.
No, I'm just going to take I just want to take a picture.
Okay.
You lost it. What the heck?
No, it's right here.
You totally lost it. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. All right, I'll buy one and we'll try it out.
Good. Lenovo. Right there. All right, next.
Per Crutchfield, the JL Audio C7 will fit my 2007 RAV4. Sound-wise, how would a C7 two-way system compare to an Audio Frog GB15, GB60 combo or a Gladen Pro two-way? I don't even know if I want to touch this because those are fantastic speakers all the way around. Okay, they're I don't really think you're gonna mess that up. So to speak. I don't think that's. I think those are. Listen, this is going to be one of those things you're just going to have to take a shot in the dark and buy one and just know that that's it. I'm not going to, you need to buy. No. This one is one of those times where you just got to kind of do it on your own.
I thought for some reason, Crutchfield let you buy it. And then if you like in 15 days, you have to return it or something like that.
Yeah, but
it's like a policy.
Sure, why not?
I'm just saying, like, if you are worried or you're like concerned about those, you can probably try them.
Yeah, sure. Give it a go.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. All right, this next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Audio Control. Oh my gosh. Audio Control has released way too many products. That's right. It's almost mind-boggling how much equipment we have to choose from now. We have the whole Epic series of amplifiers. That's right. We go from nothing to having the whole Epic series of amplifiers. Like you have a 5, you have a 4, you have a 2000, a 1500, a 1000, a 750. Oh, come on. Or you scroll back one page and you have the whole series of altitude amplifiers that you have a 604, a 1005, an 801, a 1500.1. And you're going, which one do I buy? Well, I will tell you this. If you're deciding to go like high level into any of these, I would probably spend the extra money and go with the altitude because the altitude has the high level to low level built into it. Now, if you have an aftermarket radio and you're just looking for straight-ass power and you're like, I'm going to go nuts, well, then the Epic series might be the way to go because you don't need that external high-level, low-level money. So you could, save the money there. But either way, if you need something with built-in high-level to low-level and you want something, I would check out the Altitude. Or if you've already got an existing radio, you might want to check out the Epic series. And that's something to think about. But either way, you can find them both at audiocontrol.com. Next question, please. Hey, hi guys. Hi, Steve. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you, I have a Helix M1X. Okay. That's a lot of letters. Wondering what would work best with this amp, a Hertz 300 S2 or the Morel Power Slim 12.4. My system consists of Focals, Blam, and tied together with a V12. Okay, so I'm guessing we're wanting more bass, right? That seems to be the question.
M1.
Okay, hold on. I'm not familiar with the Hertz 300 S2.
The subwoofer? Oh, it's the
is it
downfire?
300 S2.
It's like a downfire?
So
all right, so over here, just real quick, Jeff, all the way in the bottom, says the amp needs a one-ohm load.
Okay, so that might answer your question. You're going to do something with a dual 2. So the real thing would be is you need something with a dual 2-ohm voice coil, so you can get, or you need something that has a 1-ohm voice coil. So I think that might narrow the field down because I don't think both of them come with a dual 2-ohm voice coil, but that's what you need. So whatever one of those you decide on, make sure it has either a 1-ohm single voice coil or a dual 2-ohm voice coil that you can wire down to 1 ohm. And that's that. That's 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. So there again, if you need 1,000 watts.
Yes.
If you do 2 ohm, it's less. But any chance on getting Mr. Smith back on for a show for catch up? So yes, he's been really busy. I'll speak for him. He's been really busy doing a lot of training. So he's been going back and forth to Georgia and Arizona, doing the whole thing. So yeah, it's next year for sure. Look at, he's saying February, March-ish.
Oh, so we already lock. You see,
So,
schedule is
and
set.
that's like March is like the worst month ever for us.
Yeah, because we're not gonna be here.
We're gonna be all over the place. So, it might be one of those things where we just bump into him in the hallway and turn on the phone, and he can tell us about all the cereal he's eating. So,
yeah.
Oh, so PC Tool 5.7.1 dropped Friday.
There you go.
So that's your new
software.
Yeah, I'll have to download that so I can start playing with it.
New software for humans.
Dean, I gotta use a cutting board to make a fuse holder mount. It's blue in color. Can I use black vinyl paint for it? Will it withstand the heat from the engine compartment? I mean, that's what we use. We use some color dye, some black spray paint. The some vinyl dye black, Landau black, and we spray paint everything with that. So, yeah, I don't see why not. Oh, gosh. Okay. I have a 2022 Grand Cherokee WK2. I've installed the Sony 10-inch 8500, have the Kenwood XR 7-inch components up front and 6.5-inch coaxials in the back door. Also have Alpine R Series mono amp going into a Kenwood Exelon ported downfiring box. The components and coaxials
are currently on the head unit
power. Ooh. I'm thinking of putting in the Kenwood XR 4-channel amp going for SQ. Would the amp make a big difference compared to the head unit power? Thanks. Yes! Wow, that was a lot to get to that one question. The question is head unit power versus amplifier power. Amplifier power is always going to be way better. There we go. Sorry. Is always going to be way better than deck power. Deck power is really only about 15 watts, and it's on a weird power band. So, when you're turning up the volume, it usually craps out pretty quick. Meaning, and the speakers suffer from it because you want to be loud and they can't go loud. So by adding the amplifier, even a 50-watt amplifier, if you have a radio of 50 watts and an amplifier of 50 watts, the 50-watt amplifier is going to be way better than whatever the radio is doing. So by all means, get whatever amp you like, put it in there, and it will be substantially better. You may want to look at trying to find maybe a 6-channel and go full active, but a 4-channel will be fine. Did you catch that new hardware Rockford will be bringing out? I heard about a new Slim T1 model. Anything else? So, yeah, we kind of been talking about this for a couple weeks. Also, I have mostly Rockford system with audio control DM810 and a T404. I hear hissing sometimes out of the amp and a high-pitched sound when they are cold. Bad amp or DSP just making bad wiring? No, it could just be the gain is too crazy. But it's probably not a bad amp. It's probably either too much gain or if it's cold, it just doesn't like being cold. Either way, yes, they have a new T1 series woofer that's going to be shipping here first of the year. Is the first of the new products that are going to come out. What makes the new T series is totally redesigned from the ground up. The surround is a whole new process for building surrounds. They're using a dust to make the new surround. So they basically figured out a way to take the machine that makes tennis shoes and get it to make subwoofer surrounds and speaker surrounds and stuff like that. It's really cool. We can talk more about that as time goes on. But yes, they also announced that you will not find anywhere because there was no cameras allowed. There was no press allowed. We're the only ones that are talking about it, which is why they let us come. In the third quarter of 2025, they will be dropping a whole new Punch series of products. So you'll get all new amplifiers with DSP built into them, all new speakers from coaxials, components, 2-ways and 3-ways, whole new line of subwoofers. Everything is going to change in third quarter 2025. So, yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Go ahead. You got it. Have you guys heard Blam speakers? Yeah. Yes, we have. They sound great. We're a dealer. Hey guys, I have a 2022 Sienna and I just put in Focal 165 Blam IMO8 and Helix V12 DSP, and I also have a Helix M1. I think is this the same guy, isn't it? Yeah, this is the same guy.
Okay.
We already went over this. I'm gonna click on this one. Hang on.
Okay.
Will 18 gauge speaker wire, like factory wiring or speed wire, handle a 200 watt bridged amplifier to the door speakers? Yeah, it will. Totally, all day long. Not even an issue. You can put way more than that. So, see, Jeff, this is why you got to come on. See, then you can just talk about this stuff instead of just typing in random little, you know. I mean, we do this twice a week. I'm sure you can find an hour. I mean, it won't kill you, buddy. But anyways, yeah, no, that's plenty of power. And just to back that up, Tony D'Amore, the guy who makes all the distortion detectors and all the cool tools that we all use, he did a whole big Facebook post explaining how much power a speaker wire can actually handle coming from a Highs amplifier. So your wire is plenty big. The factory wiring in most cars for Highs, not subwoofers, can handle quite a bit of power, like 1,000 watts. It was pretty ridiculous. He did the math. He's an engineer. He can do the math. He knows what math to look at. I don't. I just read it and was like, okay, cool. Audio control amps do the Altitude series sound and have good speaker control as the LC series comparing the five. Okay, so the LC is way more money than the Altitude series. The Altitude, so it is a good, better, best scenario. So if you're looking for the best in class, the LC 1300. If you're looking for the good in class, then you have the Altitude. If you're looking for price point conscious, with power, then you have the Epic series. So it's a good, better, best thing.
What's up, man?
What's up? That's it. He's okay. We'll make sure you have a sock. So yeah, all right. We'll get you on. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit this. What is a good mid bass to replace the 6.5 that comes with the Morel Virtus 603 set? Upgrade to the hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can go right up to the hybrid. Actually, did that. You can order the hybrid mid bass a la carte. So if you're looking to go up, give Paul a call. He'll send you a pair out. But yeah, no, I would go right up to the hybrid. Call it a day. You'll love it. Running the 6803Cs active, what crossover point do you use? Do we need this? I know he means the 6903s.
Yes.
6903s, if we go active, are we just talking like the 3.5 6x9? That's 350 is the crossover point.
350?
I'm doing it in my head real quick. Yeah, 350.
And then 80?
And then 80 for the bottom. Well, the bottom is always 80, but it's 350. Mm-hmm. And then if you're going to go active on the tweeter, it's 3,200. Actually, I think we go 5,000 on that. 5,000. Yeah, we do a 5,000 Linkwitz 24 dB, and then 24 dB between the two Linkwitz. So 350 at 24 would be really good.
Yeah.
Will a JL Audio micro subwoofer fit under the rear seat of a 2014 F-150 extended cab? If not, is there a box that would?
Oh, 2014 F-150.
I wonder if that's that weird one that has the strange... for the most part, the JL Audio makes some of the flattest subs out there.
Yeah.
When it comes to boxes, as far as boxes with like the most potential for bass, try looking at foxacoustics.com. That's Fox, like what does the Fox say? Fox. Foxacoustics.com, and see if they list your car, and they usually have pictures. but that's a really great place to start if you're looking for a extremely well-made custom enclosure for your vehicle. What's going to MasterTech Expo in 112 days? So Dave Can Dig It will be there. He's going to be the keynote speaker. To be honest, I have no idea yet. There's still so much to go on. We're not there. We're not ready. We're going to have the build off is going to be inside. We can't talk about what they're doing yet. The Clean Wire is getting a major overhaul. We're actually moving the whole location from where it's been for the last 2 years. We're getting a giant tent, 2 giant tents actually. We're moving to the back area against the fence. So it's going to be a whole different feel for the Clean Wire Challenge. I'm pretty excited for those guys. So it'll be really nice. I read somewhere that mid-range speakers that have a phase plug on them are not good to up fire into the windshield in the factory location. What are your thoughts? I got nothing on this. That doesn't even make sense to me. I have no idea. I mean, we put K2s up in the dash all the time, and they have a phase plug. They sound fantastic. So I guess it would just depend. Like anything else, it would just depend. But I'm not losing any sleep on any of this. So, who's going? Oh, okay.
Who's going?
Who's going to the MasterTech Expo?
Everybody's going.
Everybody should go to MasterTech Expo. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do, right? I mean, buy your hotel now, get your room in place.
Yeah.
It's far enough out to where you can, get registered, get your class that you want. I mean, it's going to be packed. And not only that, it's still only $650.
That's it?
Yeah. You didn't know that? Yeah. It's still $650.
Wow.
So normally it's $800. So right now it's $650. I know.
Right now.
When we were out at Dino's Get Down, I was like, "What is it? What is it?" He goes, "It's $650." I go, "What? Still?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, okay. So
everybody's getting
$650. Dean buy me a ticket. Whoa, slow down, Haley. Slow down. I mean, you bring her on one thing, and all of a sudden she's got to be like, "I'm going to everything," and it's like, okay, sure, like, no, okay. How is speaker efficiency and amp signal noise ratio determined? Well, speaker efficiency, they use a cool tool called a Klipple, which I always say wrong because I think it's Klipple or Kipple. Anyways, I always say it wrong. And then as far as efficiency of the amplifier, that is done using a audio precision. So when the engineer is figuring these things out, it's a delicate balance. With a speaker, you're talking magnet size, spider, how thick the spider is, how thick the surround is, the weight of the cone, the size of the tinsel leads. A lot of that is just design, right? Because those things make up the motor structure and how much those need to be put into a speaker to determine what kind of power handling you want. So the higher power handling you want to put on the speaker, the stiffer those things become. Usually the efficiency is going to go down because you've made it more stiff. I need more power to get it to move. Okay, so that's like when you grab one of the subwoofers and you're doing a handstand on it and it's not moving and it handles 4,500 watts. That would be why, because everything is, and now I got to put 4,500 watts on it in order to get up and dance. So, years ago when we put the 8-inch in the lab, we put a small Rockford PBR 400, and we did, go ahead and switch those for me. We did 2 channels of the PBR. It's a small 4-channel by Rockford, it's like this big. And we did that on 2 6.5-inch coaxials or components up front, and then 1 8-inch sub in the back. And went with a P2, Rockford P2. And it was an endorsed product, meaning they wanted us to, not Rockford, it was the rep. And they were like, the point they were trying to make is that if you go with good sounding, efficient speakers and a corresponding amplifier that matches them, you should get the sound. You should get a really good sound and not, for one, break the bank, and 2, you don't need giant amplifiers. So when you look at like a P3 or a P2 Rockford, and there's plenty of them out there. I'm just using those as an example. That it's a light, small magnet, efficient, light cone. You put 300-400 watts to it, and it just gets up and dance. That's what most people need. That makes people happy. That's usually enough bass for them. But there's always the one guy that's like, I need something that handles 550 watts, and I need a 1,000-watt amp to power it. It's like, okay, cool. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you ready? All right, so this next segment, the last segment of the show, the last 15 minutes of the show is brought to you by the cool guys at thinkwarestore.com. So we, as you know, installed some of these in our personal cars, and this is some of the footage that we got. This, of course, is Haley on her way to work in the morning when this idiot here decides, like, hey, I'm going to break the law and just go over into this lane and then give Haley a dirty look because they're total idiots and they don't know how to drive. So, there again, if you'd like to, one, protect yourself and or two, protect the people you love from idiots like this, you might want to head over to thinkwarestore.com.
Right now.
Yes, it's Black Friday.
Right now is Black Friday. Well, it's not right now.
Yes.
Friday, but you can go.
Right here, Black Friday. Shop now.
Shop now.
Starts now.
Yes.
Starts
you don't have to wait until Friday.
So don't wait. Don't wait. Hey, and also, if you're going to try to install this yourself, do yourself a favor. Get the OBD2 adapter, okay? Don't feel like it's, we make it look easy. It's not, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the OBD2 adapter and you just plug it in and you're done. Like you can install it Christmas morning.
Yes.
Just plug it in, run 2 wires. It's that simple.
Yes.
It's that simple. You don't have to pay us a whole bunch of money to do it. I like you paying us a whole bunch of monny to do it.
But you can do it.
You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can feel proud.
thinkwarestores.com. That's the place that you can find it right now. Black Friday sales are on. So go ahead, check it out. Buy yourself a dash cam.
There you go. Okay. How do you feel about Morel Hybrid 3A powered by an Alpine Status DSP already in place with mid-level woes? I mean, at the end of the day, it would work. So this is always one of those questions when it's like, okay, so the speaker's rated at X, and I'm going to put, minus X amplifier on it. How is it going to sound? I don't know. What are you expecting? So there's the expectation level that everyone is expecting, and that's always the hard thing to judge because it's like you could put a 35-watt amplifier. This isn't a 35-watt amplifier. I know that. It's just an example. You can put a 35-watt amplifier on a 200-watt speaker, and it will make sound, and it's the equivalent of you going in and turning the volume down on your radio. Okay, that's essentially all that is. If you are like, what is it like to have less power? You turn the volume down. That's less power. Because literally that's what it is. A 2,000-watt amp does not always put out 2,000-watt amp. It's not doing it. You turn the volume down, it's getting less voltage input, which means putting less voltage output. So the problem is at the maxed output on the volume knob where you have the volume up as loud as it can go, and it's not enough volume for you. That's where the problem comes in. Because any speaker will work off. You could put 5 watts on a speaker, and it'll make sound. But that might not be enough sound for you. So it's really hard for us to say, oh, no, you need this. Sometimes we'll build a system, and it'll be so effing loud that they'll get in there, and they'll be like, dude, whoa, I'm right here is where I'm going to be. And it's like, okay, well, if you ever need to, you got it. And other times you turn it up, and they're like, is that all she's got? And you're like, okay, we had the wrong conversation somewhere because, you shouldn't. This is plenty loud. I can't hear you talking to me. So that's the question you have to ask yourself is it's not a matter of will it power it? Of course it'll power it. But will it power it to the intensity that you're hoping for? Mm-hmm. That I can't answer.
Yeah.
But it should.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah? You good? I installed Focal Ford 690 kits. So Focal inside my 2018 regular cab. I want to keep my factory radio with Sync 3.4. It's 2018. You have a bunch of options if you want to keep your radio. You could do a DSR1 that'll plug in using iData. You could do the PSM Pro from PSM Pro from Arc Audio.
Yeah.
You could do something as simple as a kicker key lock to go in there. Those other two are programmable through iData. and we'll reflash the radio. You can do a kick or key lock in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do to keep the factory radio. However, if for some reason, like nobody wants to keep a 2018 radio, nobody does. It's terrible. But if you're like one of the guys that wants to keep it, perfectly fine. However, I would say just for giggles, go look at the iData MFT1 kit. MFT1 kit. That'll allow you to keep your front bezel. All your functionality works, your volume controls, your air conditioning, all that. You simply put a short chassis radio behind the factory radio, and you're done. You don't have to screw with anything. You get all the great sound that you could possibly want.
Better sound.
Yeah. So
better Bluetooth.
There you go. A couple options.
Yeah.
It's the final countdown.
It's the final countdown.
How about an amp? Well, there again, because it's a 2018 and it is iData capable, a Blackbird will plug right into that with a iData AR and talk to the factory radio and give you, full DSP. Now, if you swap out the radio, then you can go with a much simpler amplifier because you've put a new radio in it. So you don't, like we talked about at the way beginning of the show, which you might not have been here for that. You could get a really nice radio and a basic amplifier. So there's that. So keep factory radio. We're going to need DSP to fix things and make them sound better. Replace radio, then we can go a little bit dumber amplifier because we have the radio that's doing a lot of the work for us. So those are your two options. Sundown versus Phoenix Gold in bass competition thoughts. I think Sundown will mop the floor with Phoenix Gold. I mean, it's just me. I mean, I mean, those woofers we saw at SEMA, the my favorite woofers with the giant magnets.
Oh, that's
like Phoenix Gold ain't got nothing on that.
No.
I mean, not a thing.
No, totally different. Yeah,
you're welcome. Yeah, I think Sundown owns that. I think Sundown owns a lot of it. Like they like, yeah. Other Bronco owners are using Museway M6
because right there, the top right there. Okay.
I believe you're wrong. I believe you're wrong about Museway M6 DSP amps working with the Bronco. That amp has the integrated system to work with SB
is SB.
OEM signal issues you mentioned. I mean, it may. I never said it didn't. I don't recall ever saying it didn't, but you would have to listen. There's a lot of people that use things that don't work right all the time,
and they work,
and they work, and they don't understand what's wrong.
Yeah.
If Museway has an SB, if it literally says on their website, we'll work with SB, then yes, that's what you need. That's it. Whether, I don't care who's using what, there's people that are out there thinking other things will work in there and they won't. So,
I mean, if it works, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right?
And if we're talking, and there again, it's only on the base audio system. If you have a BO system, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to reload.
No, I mean, the whole thing is just.
Well, you got kicked out.
It crashed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. I mean, I could go on and do some.
Yeah,
research.
Probably. I mean, if you just don't believe everything they say in the website, just do your research. Maybe call somebody if you're interested in buying some of these.
Yeah, but see, the problem is most of the guys don't even know that. So.
The manufacturer.
Right.
Well.
I'm just saying.
I would still call,
surprised.
Before I start buying things, I would call them and say, hey, listen, I have a Bronco that has an SB.
They'll be like, has a what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mean it? Everything on the internet is not? Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
So, all right. So right now, Dean is looking just to see if it says something about SB capability. It gotta be on the notes, like.
Well, I mean, it's. Here's the signal processor, general requirements, size, slope, safety.
Yep.
There's that. All right, so we have inputs. We got a lot of inputs, outputs, and then we have there's like no dip switches, low level speakers, batteries. And there again, it could be built in and they don't tell you. There's always that speaker remote.
But this is the thing.
Power on. So like it doesn't list it here. There's clip input sensitivity.
No.
So it doesn't say anywhere in here where it has a load resistor.
System configuration. No.
So I don't see. I mean, we're on page 12, and it hasn't
Right.
even talked about.
What I'm saying, I would still call them. You know, it's like, hey.
So downloads. So here's the thing. Okay, here we go. Low level input options.
That's
for the
just
following.
the card.
Okay, here we go. So what is this giving me?
Exactly, Steve.
Optional low level RCA.
That will be the guy to ask. That guy. Exactly. Joseph Norton will be the guy to ask.
But I feel like I talked to him about this.
And then what did he say?
He just kind of looked at me funny.
You say, what are you talking about?
So there's a jumper inside of here.
Uh-huh.
Tells you how. Okay, following instructions below to configure the input signal section, channel 1 through 6 from high level. Oh, this is just to configure from high level to low level.
That's what I'm saying. That's the card.
That's not anything.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I was getting excited. Well, because like on a Moscone,
no.
it has that. So.
No.
Yeah. So it doesn't say anything in the instruction manual about.
But like Steve.
SB compatible.
Steve say, give him a call.
Oh, yeah. Give Norton a call for sure.
And
because it's not in the owner's manual.
Explain that you have a Ford Bronco.
Now, the easiest solution for that, if you do have a Ford Bronco and you've already bought the amplifier, there's not a big deal. If it's not SB compatible amplifier, just go on to Metro and buy the purple 10 ohm load resistors, and your problem is solved. That's it. That's all you got to do. So it's not like it says nothing about SB. Yeah,
correct. Thank you, Phil.
Whoa, Phil.
Thank you so much.
But no, and again, it's not like it's the end of the world. There are solutions available. Moscone makes their high level to low external high level to low level adapter that has SB built into it, and I think Jeff's company Helix makes one. Focal makes one. So here's the problem. Here's what happens. And there again, some people might not even notice it because they don't turn the volume up loud enough. So you really only notice it between volumes 15 and 17. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's where it starts to happen. Mm-hmm. So if people are riding out and they're at like 20, they probably don't even notice that it's doing it. Yeah. It's when you're up at the 30 range where you're like, oh, this sounds like total crap. So there's that.
Yeah.
And there again, I know you guys haven't seen what we're talking about as far as SB, and I keep saying I need to do the video, and I will. I just haven't done it yet. So, I keep forgetting. I have Andy's video of where he talked about power rating on the tweeter, and I keep forgetting to download or export it so that we can show that because it's so. I'm gonna try to do it for Saturday because we'll all be here Saturday. Yeah. Andy Waymeyer from Audio Frog years ago when we were in Indy Knowledge Fest. Did a great, and it's a crappy video. It's a terrible video, but the audio is fantastic. And he talks about power rating on a tweeter, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Have you used the silicone speaker rings? I've seen the fast rings in your install and was wondering if the silicone one's not as good. No, actually, the silicone ones are a little better because they're designed to fan out. In some cases, most people have a really hard time using the fast rings. If you don't cut them properly. So so I would recommend the silicone ones.
What do you mean cut them properly?
Cut them so that when you put the door panel on, like you spend a lot of time making sure that you get the height right. A lot of people don't do that. And then what you end up with is you come back and it's all crushed and utterly pointless. Yeah. So whereas the silicone.
it happened to me the first time that I installed it, put it on, and then the window just knocked them out. So play with the area for sure.
Yeah. That's you. So
that's it.
Go ahead and kill
can't.
That one. Oh,
I can go here. Hang on.
Yeah. As you see, just do it there. Yeah, I was gonna say you can. There you go. All right. Perfect. Let's hide that.
Yes.
You just click that. There you go. Oh my gosh. All right. So it is Thanksgiving this week. For those of you that celebrate, if you are going to be celebrating and you like to celebrate with us, 9:00 Thursday morning. That's 9:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday morning. We will be live from the beach. We'll be doing the beach show. I don't know. This feels like it's probably 8 years now we've done a beach show.
Dude, that's insane.
It's I know it's been a long time. It's rained. It's been sunny. It's been over. We've had all kinds of weather.
I was 20 when we started.
Yeah. Anyways, no, you weren't. You're such a liar. Anyways, Thursday morning, 9:00, right here on YouTube. Yeah. So definitely, if you want to come in, definitely join us. It's a lot of fun. We have Haley, so it's just a fun show. We don't always talk about car stereo. We talk about food. It's just a fun. You get to ask those weird questions that you might not always ask on the show.
Talk about anything.
It's just a fun show.
Yeah.
It's just a great way to start out Thanksgiving morning and get your head in the right space before you go and take a nap.
Yes.
So you got to get up early so you can take a nap. Yep.
That sounds like a right thing to do.
It sounds like the best thing to do. I'd like to thank you guys, the viewers, for tuning in today and asking some great questions. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. So thank you so much for tuning in and asking great questions or just chilling and having fun in the background. We appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Focal, Moscone, Clayton, Audio Control, ThinkWare Dash Cams, Arc Audio. Who did I miss?
Okay.
I feel like I missed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, thank you, everyone. And if I missed, thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Be safe. We'll see you Thursday morning. And if not, we'll see you Friday morning for the news. Maybe. I think so. Sure. That's the plan anyways. Or Saturday, whatever works for you. You guys have a great night. Bye.
Bye, guys.